Hello everyone, did you watch that here? Today I want to talk about HBO's plan to continue Game of Thrones. And it's not a secret that they're not going to do a show on Robert's Rebellion, but around the Targaryens. But for me, I'll always be a rebel at heart. And HBO should reconsider leaving Robert's Rebellion on the shelf. And in short, I think Robert's Rebellion has everything we want and a complete story to take us back to Westeros. So let's get started. The first reason that I'd rather see Robert's Rebellion is for the battles. I'm sure seeing the field of fire would be cool, but armies lined up to get nice and toasted is something we've all seen before. I'm much more interested in seeing something like the Battle of the Bells or the Battle of Summerhall. And think about it, if we take something like Summerhall and make it an escalating fight, with a small group fighting a small group for Robert to win, convert the people to his side, and grow his army throughout the episode, or maybe that would work better for the Battle of the Bells. House to house and group to group, people rush to join the fight, and the whole episode is a battle that just gets bigger and bigger, cat and mouse between loyalist and rebel, that gets more and more out of control. Not unlike the rebellion itself, huh? Not a bad metaphor. Feel free to give me a credit and a Golden Globe, and I'm sure something that would be a nightmare to film and insanely difficult to pull off. Anyway, the point is that Robert's Rebellion has loads of meaningful and interesting battles. We get to look forward to the Battle of the Trident, and the showdown with Robert and Rhaegar, the Siege of King's Landing, and those are just more interesting to me. Is anyone really looking forward to seeing Torrhen Stark march south from Winterfell, only to take a knee? Are we looking forward to seeing Dorne just evacuate their cities and be empty every time the dragons come around? And are we looking forward to seeing Harrenhal just get burned to the ground when they don't surrender and there's no fight? Those are cool moments, but they just don't get me excited the same way that seeing the Battle of the Trident would. The second reason is that it's a complete story, and I have to confess here, and I might get some hate for this, but I haven't read Fire and Blood, and to be honest, I'm not sure that I'm going to. While I love Game of Thrones, it's really hard to stay interested without the Winds of Winter, without knowing if this series is actually going to be finished. And we've all seen how an incomplete adaptation goes, and do we really want a prequel series that again passes the source material? And Robert's Rebellion doesn't have that problem. We don't have to wait on a finished series, we don't have to wait on a second volume to come out for a satisfying conclusion, as Robert's Rebellion is a fully enclosed story. We know how it begins, we know how it ends. It shouldn't be hard to adapt. There's no mystery that leads to a letdown or characters that just up and get forgotten about. And speaking of the characters, we get the best of both worlds. We're going to get old and new characters with events far enough in the past to get a fresh take. You know, not everyone is the same that they were in the past as they are in the show. And there's also these excellent emotional conflicts in Robert's Rebellion, and it kind of reminds me of just those little moments in a Game of Thrones that kind of hook you and show you that it's a different type of world. For me, I'll always remember that scene with Ned and Kat in the second episode of Season 1, before he leaves with her making him stay. It was the moments like that that make a Game of Thrones different and refreshing and, you know, super interesting for me. And Robert's Rebellion, again, has tons of those moments. How does Lyanna react to Rhaegar taking her? What's the reaction of the Kingsguard to Rhaegar's death? What about Tywin and Aerys, Robert and Ned, Howland and Ned, Benjen and Lyanna, Littlefinger and Catelyn? I can go on, and there are just tons of these little interactions and tons of these little moments to play out that we can look forward to. Or not look forward to. I shouldn't jinx myself. But we would get to see some great complete character arcs. Think about Littlefinger and who he was before he loses the duel with Brandon, and after that duel realizing that he can't beat the great houses in the traditional way. Think about Robert and how angry he goes, and wonder if he ever finds out the truth. Does he ignore it? Is he killing the Targaryen children to protect his dynasty, or because it's the reminder? We kind of know that, but it would be good to see how it plays out. Think about Ned getting forced to question everything and the rebellion itself, and how far things go after the sack of King's Landing and once he meets Lyanna again. Again, for me, there's just amazing material here. And I know for me, as I mentioned, the Battle of the Trident is high on the list of events I'd look forward to, but a close second is the tourney at Harrenhal. Even with a complete story, we should be able to get at least 3 seasons, I would think. Start it with Aerys' capture and his descent into madness, end it with the tourney at Harrenhal. Next season, focus on the breakout of the rebellion and end it right before the Battle of the Trident, and then the last season open with the Trident and deal with its aftermath, ending as Ned is leaving for the Tower of Joy. and I'm sure Fire and Blood will be entertaining, but the story just doesn't interest me as much. So how do you feel about it? Is there a moment that you're looking forward to? Should I read Fire and Blood? Are you interested in seeing Westeros get conquered, or are you more interested, like me, in seeing the events of Robert's Rebellion, seeing those characters we know and love in a different light? And let me know what you think in the section down below. So as always, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe as it helps my channel out. I am going to have more content coming out soon. I hope to expand the channel to talk about more fantasy in general. And thank you guys for your support, and I definitely hope you enjoyed the video, and have a great day. Bye.